shares of Gardner Denver climbed in its trading debut, with the shares gaining 6%. The industrial machinery maker raised $826 million in its IPO, the third biggest U.S. corporate deal this year.
We did something very unique today. We share with the entire organization, 6,100 employees, part of the equity. We share $100 million. You cannot stop 6,100 associates always going towards a unique mission around intense customer focus on a performance-driven culture, always competing for the shareholders. So it is a very unique and exciting time for us. As we were ringing the bell at the New York Stock Exchange, we were announcing to all 6,000 employees of the company at that time that they were going to become owners of the company. So we did $100 million to all 6,000 employees, and that equated to roughly 40% of their base salary in equity. And then the next milestone happened in 2020. We closed the transaction of acquiring Ingersoll Rand industrial segment. So in September of 2020, we gave equity again, this time $150 million worth of equity to all 16,000 employees of the company. And that equated to roughly 20% of their annual base salary. So our total investment so far has been slightly over $250 million. This is one of the largest equity grants ever done in the industrial segment. You know, back in 2016, when I joined and became the CEO, I said that we wanted to double in value over the next 5 years. At that time, we were roughly $3 billion in value, so that would have meant that we will be like a $6 billion. And today, 6 years later, we're over $27 billion in value. And that is the journey that our employees are participating.
Stock ownership was really a very revolutionary idea to give this to 100% of our employees. It was not anticipated or expected by our employees, but it was really a sign that those employees matter so much to our business. And it really demonstrates that our business realizes that value does not just come from its most senior leaders. It comes when you have an entire population of experts working together to get to a common goal.
It's not, a thank you gift and handing out $100 million or $250 million in equity and expecting that the performance of the company or employee engagement or things like that are going to improve overnight. It takes a commitment from not just the employee base, but really from the company.
The company was incredibly thoughtful about how they did this. And so we started by being really thoughtful about the metrics that we were going to roll out. And then we trained all of our employees, the entire employee base, to understand net working capital.
For us, the focus was going to be cash, and we wanted to unlock cash. So we said to all the employees that as owners, you have to think about cash. Cash is basically what keeps payroll, what keeps investments going, and what keeps the company growing. But that put then more emphasis on us as a management team to ensure that we were educating and training employees on what does it mean to be an owner. And I think this is what is transformative for us, is that our employees think about this is my company versus this is a company that I work for.
We believe that we've created something a little bit different by making all of our employees owners of the company. We're actually all now have 16,000 employees moving in the same direction. We're aligned around the same common goals. We are very transparent in terms of how we're actually achieving said goals, and we're willing to take the feedback from our employee base and implement changes that will improve the company. And I think the results have been fantastic. We've seen employee engagement scores improve from less than 20% in terms of are you happy coming to work to now greater than 90%.
Over 32,000 comments we received on the last survey, and 91% participation rate for over 16,000 employees.
I expected to see an increase in engagement survey scores, but I was thrilled to see the decrease in safety issues, a 71% decrease in issues overall.
Today, we're best in class.
Through shared ownership, we've been able to decrease our attrition from 19% down to closer to 3%. We're in much better shape than most of the market is today.
We have definitely seen phenomenal payback on the $250 million of equity. I mean, it's clearly, you can see it on the culture, you can see it in the performance of the company, you can see it on the surveys that we do to employees. It is tangible.
If you just look at the financial statements, we can see it. Proof is in the pudding in terms of the numbers. So we've seen sustained top-line organic revenue growth.
Our EBITDA margin improved by more than 700 basis points. Our EBITDA dollars improved from $380 million to now expected to be $1.185 billion.
We've seen working capital as a percent of sales improve from over 30% to now less than 20%.
Our stock price has almost tripled in value since the IPO in 2017. Our enterprise value has increased from approximately $3 billion in value to approximately $27 billion in value in 2021. We believe we created about $3 billion in value with the share ownership. How do we estimate the $3 billion in value? Is roughly $200 million due to the training and the alignment to employees to think how to unlock the cash. Approximately $272 million from reducing voluntary turnover by more than 15%. Approximately $2.5 billion in value from this ownership culture that we have. We think that increased our EBITDA multiple expansion by maybe 1 or 2 turns. And also how we grow our M&A, $100 to $200 million of value in that. And all of that together is really what makes it a big difference. When we started doing this in 2017, we wanted to do it in a way that we could show the results that it could create in the company, so the other companies could also mimic and do it the same way, so that share ownership starts expanding even more broadly. But we know that it is highly dependent on how you launch the shared ownership and how you link that to the performance of the company, how you link that to the strategy, how you link that to the company purpose. And when you connect all the dots, yes, it's definitely very powerful.
Shared ownership is a huge sign of respect for our employees. And I'd like to think that 20 years from now, more companies will have embraced this idea and that there's opportunities for all employees to have true wealth creation.
Employees want to be participants of it, and they want to be able to help, and they want to be able to be with us in that road. It is a very unique culture and a very unique company, and we like to say that it's still early in our journey here.